Good morning, my dear students. Welcome you all back to our social class. We are dealing with Civics Chapter 5, Working of Institution, Grade 9. So if you see, we have seen about the Mandal Commission, Office Memorandum, whose Mandal, the VP Singh, the Decision Making Authority, agitations and all those things we saw. In previous class, we saw even what is Parliament, how the Parliament is functioning, what are the roles of the Parliament we saw. And today we are going to see the two houses of Parliament. So you will be wondering what is this two houses. So before we get into what is this two houses, we'll look into the few aspects of Parliament. Like the Parliament is playing the central role in the democracy. Central role means it is being the supreme power of decision making authority. Then in large countries you can find that the division, like the role and the power is being divided in the two parts. In two parts it is divided, the role and the power. So they are called as chambers or houses. Okay, so this is how they have been divided. Then you see, one house is usually directly elected by the people. So he is directly elected by the people and he is going to perform his own real power. He is going to exercise the real power of his own. Then if you see, the second house is elected indirectly. So he is being elected indirectly, not by the people directly. It is indirectly elected and perform some special function. So it is going to perform some special function. What are they? So they are going to look into the interest of various states, regions and federal units. So they are going to look into the interest, what and all can be done for a particular region, what and all can be done for a particular state, and if it is a federal union, so what can be done for that. So those things will be checked and dealt by the second house. Okay, and our own Parliament has two houses. Yes, our own Parliament has two houses. You see, our Parliament has two houses. It is lower house. Lower house is called the Lok Sabha. Lower house is called as Lok Sabha and it is known as House of People. You know why it is known as House of People? Because they are directly elected by the people. Okay, so when they are directly elected by the people, they are called as the lower house or Lok Sabha or House of People. And if you see, we have the second house. Second house is the upper house. Upper house is called as the Rajya Sabha. Rajya Sabha or Council of States. Okay, they are not directly elected, they are indirectly elected. Which is the indirectly elected? The upper house is called the Rajya Sabha or the Council of Ministers. They are indirectly elected. Okay, my dear students, and if you see, we have the Lok Sabha. Detailedly we will see about Lok Sabha now. So Lok Sabha is the lower house we saw. Yes or no? So it is known as the lower house. The lower house or the house of people. So it is directly elected by the people and exercise real power. So it is going to exercise the real power. So the maximum strength means number of members in the Lok Sabha house will be 552 of 350 members are elected from the states. So they are going to be elected from the state, and 20 members for the union territory. Okay, maximum strength of the house is 52. 552 of 3, 552 of 530, and in that members are being elected from the state. Okay, and they are elected for the state, and remaining 20 is for the union territory. So members form the union territories, and 2 members of an nominated by the president in the form of an Anglo-Indian. He will be an Anglo-Indian. Anglo-Indian means might be a person, a male or a female, who has married an foreigner who has married an Indian woman or a man and has given birth to a child. That child will be considered as an Anglo-Indian because it combines of both the nations' blood, so it will be considered so. Okay, my dear students, so this is what it is. So Lok Sabha, or the House of People, is directly elected by the people. So directly elected is very important keyword, and they are going to exercise the real power. Okay, so next thing, the maximum strength of the house is 552 of 530. Okay, so in that 530 members are elected from the state. Okay, and 20 members are for union territory, and 2 members as nominated by the president. So they will not be directly elected, or they will not be selected by the council of ministers. They will be directly nominated by the president. Okay, and they will be definitely an Anglo-Indian. Okay, where you can find representation of for everyone is given. Okay, so totally in Lok Sabha you can find the present membership of Lok Sabha is 545 members. Okay, so what is the total number of members of Lok Sabha? 545. Okay, my dear students. Okay, so we'll see the next things. We see Rajya Sabha. Rajya Sabha, or it is known as the Council of State. Okay, so as we saw already, it is usually indirectly elected, and they are going to perform some special function we saw. Yes, yes or no? Yes. So based on the interest of an state, interest of a region, or interest of a federal unit is going to look upon it. So the most common work for the second house, that is the Council of State, is to look into the interest of various states, regions, and the federal unit. Okay, so now we'll see the members. So here it is not like more than 500, here it is more than 250 members only will be there, and 11 of Rajya Sabha members are nominated by the president. Okay, so 11 of the members will be nominated by the president for persons who have earned distinction in the field of literature, art, science, and services. So for them these 11 posting will be given. So the 11 members in the Rajya Sabha will be nominated by the president. So when they will be nominated? When they have earned the distinction, in the field of literature, art, and science and services. Okay, only then they will be selected. Thus the nomination will be done by the president. Then you can see that the Rajya Sabha is the permanent body. So why it is called as permanent body? Because here the member will remain permanent for 5 years. But in Lok Sabha, if there is an problem arises upon the ruling party, there is a possibility of the ruling party itself to get dissolved. But in Rajya Sabha, it is a permanent member body. To one, you can find here they will be getting retired minimum 5 years. They will be surviving. So we'll see what is the retirement age. If you see, 1/3 of the members retire every 2 years. So actually 5 years is their duration of their council of state. But every 5 year once you can find they will be getting retired, or you can find up to 65 years they can survive in the Rajya Sabha. That is based on their wish. And here at presently they say around 245 members are there in Rajya Sabha. So there is distribution among the state and the union territories. You can find 245 members are existing. Okay, so here only you can find Sachin Tendulkar as a member, and we have so many actors who are being considered as the council of state members. Okay, they will be permanently remaining as an workers here. Okay, this is one thing. Then if you see the function of the parliament, the function of the parliament is this ordinary bill, both house. In ordinary bill you can find they have the equal power in for the both houses. In case of deadlock or joint sitting of both houses in the called of Lok Sabha have numerous majorities. See here they will have a bill, ordinary bill, which will be passed in the parliament. They are supposed to have a discussion. They are supposed to have a proper dealing of that matter should happen. Deadlock when will happen means when the president says or when the prime minister says that it has to be checked. The law bill which has been passed should be checked within 14 days and submitted. Then it becomes a deadlock over there. Okay, and many matters you can find here in Lok Sabha. Like Lok Sabha is the most enjoying power in Rajya Sabha. So Rajya Sabha can delay in only by 14 days of his passing of the bills. As I told you already, 14 days is the maximum duration time for delaying any kind of bill. Okay, so Lok Sabha has the control of the council of ministers through no confident motion. Through no confident motion means when they feel it is not good, when they feel the law is not been implemented properly and it is not going on very well, using this no confident motion, the Lok Sabha can stop it. Rajya Sabha does not have any power like that. So that is the difference between the Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha. Okay, my dear students, then you can see that we have the in your book we have the day in the life of Lok Sabha. You see, it is given from 17th December 2014 was the ordinary day in the life of the 14 Lok Sabha members. Let us look. So what are their duties? What are they supposed to do in a day? So 11 o'clock, various ministers give letter answer to 250 questions. So they are supposed to write the answer and give. Like questions will be asked, what is the government policy on talking to the military groups of Kashmir? What are the figures of aristocrats against the scheduled tribes, including those influenced by the policies? What is the government doing about overprinting of medicines by the big companies? So when all these questions are raised, they give an answer in the written format in the parliament, Lok Sabha. Okay, around 12 o'clock you can find a large number of office documents are being presented and they are being available for the discussion. Like you can find like recruiting rule of the Indo-Tibetan border. So what can be done in the Indo-Tibetan border, what and all measures can be taken, so those kind of things they will be dealing. And around 12 2, the ministers of the Department of Northeastern region made an statement regarding the elevation of the Northeastern Council. So they are speaking about the railways department. They are going to bring and railway routes for these areas. Around 12-14, several ministers will highlight certain issues in the parliament, like CBI registration cases, why it is being not dealt properly, like that and all. And they will wind up with that, and again 2 o'clock they will gather. So when they are gathering by 2 o'clock, around 2.26, around 2:20, you can find two bill proposed by the government. So the bill that is being proposed might be spoke or discussed, like secured law, enforcement of a secured interest can be dealt. And finally, around 4 o'clock, there will be a long discussion regarding the foreign policies of the government and the need to connect and independent foreign policies. And 7 o'clock, they will have the discussion concluding, and the house will be adjourned for the next day. Okay, so this is how the function of the Lok Sabha which happens in a day. So please go through the two House of Parliament and learn about the ordinary laws that has been implemented in Lok Sabha. What are the Lok Sabha function? What is Rajya Sabha function? Please go on and have a detail about the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Write it as a home test and send it, my dear students. Okay, thank you, my dear students.